Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Life here, and today I'm not alone. I'm joined by Aaron from Push Square.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Felix.
Of course, Push Square is one of the 3 channels that we have under Hookshot, and that is the PlayStation 1. And I thought today would be perfect time to bring him in because we are talking about Astro. Now, I know this is not a Nintendo game, but I just want to talk about it because it takes inspiration from a lot of Nintendo games. There's so much joy, it prioritizes fun, and it is everything a platformer should aim to be.
Yeah, this thing is definitely Nintendo vibes, I would say. It's got big Nintendo vibes about it. I was thinking that when I was playing it, and yeah, it's definitely nailing those platformer vibes about it. So good game, very good game.
It's a very, very good game. I think it's one of the best games I've ever played. No joke. It's just it's really I booted it up, and the first level I could just not stop smiling. I was seeing everyone because I played this a few days after everyone because I was traveling back from the States, and I was seeing everyone being like, "This is the best game ever. It's so good." And I was thinking, okay, I really like Astro's Playroom, but is this really that good? Yes, it is. It is just the music, the graphics, the haptics. Oh my god, the haptics. Nintendo, please make some better haptics for the next console. I'm really hoping so. But there's just a lot of times where it's like, man, this is just like a Mario game, but they've improved on a lot of it. I think it's as good as Mario Odyssey, if not maybe even better in some instances. It's just each level has its own unique gimmicks, its own unique theme. Like the music doesn't repeat, at least from what I've played so far. It's all the tracks are just
there's a lot of variety to the game. I was really surprised because having played Astro's Playroom, and this is just that expanded out to a full game, I was curious to see how far will things get a little repetitive, and they really don't. You've got I mean, there's enough ideas in this game to fill 6 other games, because you have these mechanics, there's ones where you slow down time, there's ones where you have a dog on your backpack, there's ones where you have a chicken, you've got all of these cool little ideas, and none of them are really overused. There's some that are used more than others, but to the point where you're that's such a good idea. Why have you only used that in 2 levels? It's crazy.
I think my favorite one is the one where you shrink down like a mouse.
Oh yeah, that's
absolutely love that level. And it's just when I see it, reminds me a lot of Mario Wonder. Just that everything is game. You have an idea, you go for it, and they made it work so well. The level selection is like Mario Galaxy. It actually reminds me a lot of Mario Galaxy in a lot of ways. That each level is this kind of linear sense, but like you say, it is crazy how much variety there is and how much they just okay, we have this idea, amazing idea, we only use it for just quickly, let's move on. So there's always something new. It's one of those games where I boot it up and I just don't want to put it down. I only put it down yesterday because I had to go to bed. So
yeah, it's a really easy one to just pick up and play, and one of those ones as well, I think the levels are so perfectly, the length of them is just right, where it never feels too long if you're replaying the levels, because I ended up getting the platinum. You don't feel oh, I need to play through all of this again or anything. It's just the right level where it's maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes depending on which one you go for. But yeah, there's just such a playfulness to it as well that there's so many little mechanics or little gimmicks in the levels that just, why are they there? They're just there for fun, the physics in this game is just really impressive, where there'll be points where there's just thousands of bits, regardless. There's a bit in the game in particular, I'm not sure if you would have hit that yet, where just thousands of gems start flowing down and they just keep going, and I spent 5 minutes just spinning around knocking the gems everywhere, and it's that kind of stuff. The tech is really impressive, but it's really understated because it's not, like you were kind of saying to me before, it isn't your typical Sony affair that's ultra realistic graphics, it's super serious or whatever, but it still has those little hallmarks where that tech is super impressive, but in its own way, and it does it in a way to just kind of celebrate the world even more. But yeah, it's funny that during my playthrough I kept thinking it's very Mario, But I'd said to you the other day, like, Mario to me isn't 3D Mario, it's 2D Mario. So like it was kind of a weird thing that like the whole time I kept saying like, this is very Mario, this is very Mario, even though I don't gravitate towards that type anyway. But I think obviously that's the slight PlayStation edge here, because it's celebrating all of the things that I grew up with in terms of the characters, because you've got 173 PlayStation characters in this, and they're deep. There's some deep cuts in this that like I had no idea who that is.
Yeah, there's the Boku no Natsuzumi is in this game, which to me is just so cool to see, because it's a Japanese only games, and they've now made new games that are coming to the West, but those original ones, they never made it, and it's just such a fascinating, so cool to see them in there. I feel like the gameplay loop is just, they've nailed it, the way that you have the collectibles throughout the levels, and you want to seek out these collectibles, because then you can unlock stuff back in the hub, and you can, you know, they took everything from Astro's playroom and they just gave it a purpose, you know, all the puzzle pieces, all the little bots that in the first game, they were just there for like decoration, but now you actually have to seek them out.
And the puzzles too, like actually unlock rooms instead of just being a mural on the wall. That's like, that's really cool. And like the amount of little secret levels you get in this, like things that you're gradually discovering that don't appear to be there in first glance, and levels that can be quite challenging as well. You get some bits that will have you pulling your hair out, just because it's like, it just seems like the way that the obstacles are thrown at you is like super unfair, but you need to get it perfect. But they're a lot of fun to do. But I do find it interesting, like, because this definitely is veering into that that Nintendo sort of territory with the general, like I said, the vibe of the game and the sort of I don't know, it's like a game for everyone, which I don't think Sony does an awful lot. I mean, the most you could probably say that is maybe Spider-Man, the Spider-Man series. That's like pretty widely, you know, it appeals to a lot of people. But this is like a whole different thing, and I think it's really nice to see, because I think this has like the potential to be regarded so well like down the line, especially by the younger generation who are playing some of this for the first time. Like, this could be the new Mario for them, you know, where they're like, I used to play Astrobot when I was a kid. Like, Astrobot's like,
I feel like Astrobot sets a new level to like just what you can expect from those types of games. It sets a bar so high that it's just, you look at other games and think, man, the gap is so big. Like I have no idea how on earth they pulled it off as well they did. But no, like you say, it's really nice when games can be played not only by kids but also by adults, and that's one of the biggest appeals of Mario, that not only is it like, you know, it can be an easy game, it's very easily accessible, but it has like, it's really polished, it has some great gameplay mechanics that also make it fun for adult people to play. I mean,
you can appreciate it at the different age levels. I feel like there's something for everyone there. The thing that I'm really hopeful for is that this game has the long tail that it deserves, really, because I mean, going by the initial sales reports in the UK, at least according to Chris Ring, it's not doing like crazy well, at least here in the UK, selling less than what Ratchet and Clank had, which is another platformer. But I do think, I can imagine this being the type of game that is like big at Christmas, you know, like buying for your kids, buying for yourself, especially like we're coming up to the 30th anniversary of PlayStation this year. So this is like the celebration in a way where like it's not just the characters, but this, I don't want to spoil things, but the stuff coming up down the line with like the products as well that just make you kind of, as a lifelong PlayStation fan, it does make you kind of warm up in the chest. You're like, oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. But it's an interesting thing for Sony amidst what is basically too many AAA blockbusters that cost too much to make and take too long to make as well. Here you have Astrobot that is supposedly, it's Team Asobi, a team of like 65 people, you know, that or thereabouts. So it's not a big game, but like we're saying, it goes that extra distance with like the little things, like whether it's the physics or how playful it is or introducing the mechanics, and it's just yeah, it's just such a joyous experience. I've just had so much fun playing it.
No, I do really hope that the game does well, because I think the price point, I think it's just for some people, they see this, it's a kids game, I don't want to pay so much for this game. But I think the reason why this game, I think it will do well in the long term, is just that it is such a good game that that people will go out of the way to tell their friends and family, hey, this is a masterpiece, you need to play this. I mean, it's one of the reasons, the only reason I actually got into Zelda was because I had a friend who was like, no, Breath of the Wild, that is, people say this is the best game ever made, you have to try it out. And I was like, okay, I'll try it out. And then it turned out to be my favorite game of all time. So I really hope that that is the same effect it will have on some people. I mean, luckily, I do see online that people really enjoy this game, saying that it is their game of the year so far. Now, I do have to finish the game, but so far, it is very high up there.
This
it
will
is
be
one
in Game of the Year. Is a big Game of the Year contender for sure. Like, this will be up there with a lot of sites, up there with the Game Awards itself. I mean, I honestly, unless there's something coming up later this year that's just going to blindside us, I don't see something.
Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah. This is where you're looking at my blindside department, being the PlayStation guy. But no, and it is funny as well how, like, I do think the art style in this game is just very evocative of the Mario games, especially with the enemy designs. They're just very, like, unique, and they have they'll take the variants and, like, style them after the worlds that they're in sometimes.
Yeah.
And I do find it interesting how Astro's become this sort of, like, somehow became one of the mascots for PlayStation in a way that I think we've had troubles with before, because, like, Mario is Mario. You put Mario on anything, everybody recognizes Mario. You know, there's that, like, that iconography there with Mario. Whereas,
quote Aaron on this, Mario is Mario.
Mario is Mario. Yeah. Hot takes here. But then, like, for Astro, you know, it's interesting because previously for PlayStation, you're looking at Nathan Drake, you're looking at Ellie from The Last of Us, you're looking at Aloy
Last
from
of Us card.
Yeah,
The Last of Us party. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, exactly. And also, these are all just, like, people, if you know what I mean. Like, you look at Nathan Drake, it's a dude with stubble and spike, you know, he's here at the front and he's wearing, like, a gun holster. I don't think there's that immediate, like, oh, that's Nathan Drake. He's not even as recognizable, I would argue, as something like Tomb Raider, which he's based on, basically, you know? But Astro is, like, a different ballgame where, like, I feel like this will have that recognizability. And interestingly, before this game came out, I was traveling somewhere for work, and at the airport, there was all these PlayStation 5 pop-ups. And everyone I went past, there was some kid playing Astro. And it's, like, so fun to see. It just is something that's, like, universally, like, it's approachable, like we've been getting at, and it has that, like, level of enjoyability for each of the age ranges. And yeah, something we haven't spoke about too much either, though, and the reason I think this takes it further is the DualSense implementation is I
insane.
mean, it's so good. I don't think anyone would have, when the PlayStation 5 was announced, I don't think anyone would have thought too much of the DualSense stuff. When they were announcing it, they're like, we'll get haptic feedback, we've got, you know, detailed rumblings and adaptive triggers, and you're like, alright, like, that sounds cool, but is it going to be game changer? And there's very few games that we've had in the last 4 years that have actually utilised, outside of probably Astro's Playroom, which was more of a tech demo than anything for the DualSense. But here it's just the details and the rumblings, the way that it has you involved with the gyro stuff. I mean, it's just, it has you so involved in the experience as well. Like, you're starting every level and you're having to do this to, like, catch the various coins.
Yeah, and you can feel the jet engines and the triggers, and
got hit with this thing, man. Here we go. There's the Astro controller. It's
making me jealous
nice.
now.
It's so nice. I love it. And there's, like, an added element there for me when you're, like, holding the game that's in the controller. Holding the controller that's in the game. But no, it's some good stuff. But do you think then there's anything, like, we're talking about how this game is being inspired quite clearly by like the past in Mario and various like Nintendo platformers. But do you think there's any way that it goes the other way, going forward now? Like whether that be with potentially like future tech with the Switch 2 or anything. Do you think Nintendo look at this game and go, that's cool? Maybe there's some way we can implement stuff like that to the next Mario platformer.
I definitely think that Nintendo doesn't this isn't unnoticed. They will look at this and be like, wow, this is great. I mean, Sakurai, I read on Twitter that he's played it and he's really enjoying it, the creator of Smash Bros. I mean, I would love to see Astrobot in Smash Bros. That would be awesome. And I feel, if they keep making games that good, that doesn't go unnoticed. So I think it's a very good question because, we see the inspiration one way. Will we see the other way? I hope so. Because
it would be cool.
It is really, I mean, I said it earlier, but it is setting a new bar. And I really hope that Nintendo does something. I don't think they are going to do the haptics as well, but it is one of the reasons I play my PlayStation so much is because of the controller. Because I'm such a big haptics fan.
I'm the same.
Some people don't think it's it's cool. To me, it's like it really elevates the experience tenfold.
100%. I mean, like, I still remember times like, to very briefly veer from Astro with a game like Returnal. You step off of the ship, you feel the rain. Like, you can feel the raindrops individually in your hands with the haptics. It's such a cool feature, and it definitely is. Like, it's that thing. Like, if I have the choice to play it on Xbox or PC or PlayStation, like, I'll choose the PlayStation with like the native haptics. But it's interesting to see if Nintendo potentially look towards, like you're saying, like that celebration of their history, and it's like characters and icons and stuff, because I think it does add another element to it. Like, the game Astro on its own is an excellent platformer, super fun, really inventive. But adding in all those characters does push it just that little further, where even if it's on just a level of like, oh, I recognize that guy. That's that dude from
but it's
that,
more than that. You have like a level where everything is God of War.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would love to see that in a Nintendo game where, everything is Kirby or everything is Metroid in this level. That would be so cool. And Nintendo have so many characters that they can pull from. And so yeah.
Yeah, no,
here's to hoping to that. So, Aaron, thank you so much for coming here and just gushing about Astrobot, because
thanks for having me.
I wanted to find some way where we could talk about this here in Nintendo Life. Please do check out Aaron over on Push Square. It's like Nintendo Life, but with PlayStation. And don't forget to check out the websites, nintendolife.com and pushsquare.com, where you can find all sorts of Nintendo and PlayStation. Oh my god, I'm not used to making an outro. Nintendo and PlayStation related content, but in written form. All right then, stay safe, play some Astrobot if you can, and we'll see you in the next one. Felix and Aaron from Nintendo Life and Push Square, out.
I started waving way too early.
Just sitting there for an entire minute.
Finish the video, Felix. Finish it.